Where's my ships? Where's my freaking ships? And we are started in Starbase. It took until just before 2 a.m. for Starbase to come live Eastern Standard Time. I know that because I made a bet with Pac for 10,000 Puri that the over-under of 3 a.m. they were able to beat that deadline, so I owe about 10,000 to Pac, so I'll be sending that over in 4 to 6. Now, in the next day, I will be getting that to him. That was a fun little way to pass the time for all those degenerate gamblers. I don't recommend that, not financial advice. But here we are with Starbase. So let's jump over and take a look at what we're dealing with. So what we have is I'm in Ooster Space down to CSS. I just got the Red Mine fleet into the CSS. I had traveled all the way out to MRZ-22, got a little silicone just to kind of feel what that was like. Let that sandy material roll over my toes as we were mining it. And I liked it. I liked it a lot. And it's funny. You communicate with people as much as you can, and you try to come up with some kind of a plan. And nobody wants to make a plan because nobody really knows what it's going to look like. Well, Starbase looks very similar to Sage Labs, and we have the same general map here, and the bases are slightly changed, a little bit of maneuvering going on, but more or less in the same locations. But we do have different types of resources. And we have titanium and nitrogen, silicon, and a few others. I think I'm missing one new item. But there's the carbon luminite. Luminite for oosters is way the heck out in this area. 27 maybe? Yeah, the really far one towards the Oni space. So that's going to be interesting. And that actually created a bit of a divergence in the overall plans. It was as anybody would expect from a hive mind Ooster central core data processing center. As soon as Starbase launched and people were starting to get on, it looked more or less like a herd of cats just scattering. Now, there was a very steady stream of traffic to and from MRZ 35, and from what I can tell, there's a decent amount of Aphia oosters that are going through there. And then we also have just a hodgepodge of different ideas of what should be done first. And so the first couple days, I imagine, for at least the oosters, it seems like will just be kind of regathering and seeing how the game actually functions. And so one of the things that I have here is I've got my donkey fleet that was at the Ooster number 4 mining iron ore, and so I'm gonna jump him back. Let's warp him back to the CSS. Then there's the whole question of, is my transaction going to successfully go through? So what I have found, some of the troubleshooting that is regular with the way that Starcom is working. I get the message down here. Donkey Fleet has started warping, so that transaction went through. That was probably what, a 15-20 second delay of me yapping while I was waiting for that to come through. It did, so that's great. I'm really excited. I see my guy flying in just like you would expect here, and then I go on to my next transaction, and this one would be docking my red mine, which I have the silica. Approve that transaction like a boss and see if this comes through. A lot of times, if you've waited any amount of time, a few minutes, I have lost connection or, oh, right, 2 in a row. I'm feeling great. I had lost connection and had to refresh the page. And so in order to do that, I usually went to the history. I clear the browser history. All right. So I clear all that. Then I exited out of my Sage Starbase, and then I opened it back up. Sage Labs icon is the icon you click on, but you'll see in the address it's base.staratlas.com. And so when that lines back up, then I have to reconnect, launch, accept all these, go into Phantom, and then say no thank you to the Prime. And then I go down. Now here's a tricky part. Select character. Now I had set up one account when I first started, when I first logged on to get started. I had thought I was setting up an account, and I believe I did. And it created this one. I put it down as OCG Thor of the Red Hand. Pretty straightforward, but descriptive, so I wouldn't forget which one it is. Then when I tried to log back on because it lost connection and I tried to reinitialize, it had me set up another account. And I put down Thor of the Red Hand. Just a little bit different, but now I see that there's a difference. Well, these two wallets were kind of in parallel, or they were two different characters going into Starbase. And so as I was transferring from Sage Labs, and this is V2 Labs that I had been working with. When I was transferring my fleet from one to the other, um, it also asked this, and so I don't know if this first character account was where my ships were originally, and I made a new one. But when I switched back and forth from one to the other, I didn't have the same ships. So I have this is the original account that I had, the OCG Thor, and then just the regular Thor account is what I've started playing in Starbase. And so I started accruing extra points, and then I tried to transfer another set of ships, another fleet, and went to the wrong one. And so I pulled up my inventory and my hangar, and I didn't see any of my ships there. Now I've done this stuff enough that I know not to freak out, but I could imagine if someone did something similar, and I think there's a risk of someone doing something similar out of everybody else. Maybe I'm the only simpleton that couldn't figure that part out, but I imagine that could happen, and it would freak me out if it never happened before. Where's my ships? Where's my freaking ships? But everything is on the blockchain, so just take it easy. Check to make sure that there's not multiple accounts that you have accidentally set up. Now this one, let's see, exit warp. I'm gonna pick up a couple more Arco that I have at this base. This is in labs. I'm gonna go into the labs and hopefully I get a transaction go through successfully. Good. All right, so it is starting to loosen up. It's starting to work a lot better, which is great. It will still be a delay before I see it in the hangar. I've experienced that multiple times. These are some of the challenges. Now, if it doesn't load up, then I can refresh the page. I would do clear history just out of that redundant precaution. I would exit out here and then I would go back and open up a new page and change out v2 labs, v2.labs. And then when it refreshes, I should see that fleet in my hangar. Okay. And remember, so I did this OCG Thor account was on my labs, my original labs. So that's where my red line fleet is. It's undocked still. So I might have just gone out of subwarp and not docked. There's a lot of things going on. And I've forgotten that to do a step, and so take it easy. I'm going kind of fast right now, but it doesn't feel fast. But I'm going relatively fast trying to get things done. But take your time, slow it down a little bit to make sure you do it right, because that is the fastest way to make a mistake, and I don't particularly want to do those. Mistakes suck. That's just my personal experience, and I have a lot of that. I have a lot of mistake experience. So you can take that one to the bank. That's not financial advice. That's life advice. Another piece of life advice, tell your significant other that you love them today. It's a good idea. If you haven't already, then it's about time. If you have told them that you love them, it's about time. Keep letting them know that you appreciate them, and your life will be a lot better, and you'll get more Star Atlas time. Why the heck do you think I'm here? I love my wife. She's awesome. Okay. So let's see. That was Starbase advice. That was marriage advice. Health and wealth advice. Yeah. Eat more avocados. Yeah, they're great superfood. I think that's all I really got. Best of luck in Sage Labs, Starbase, and whichever faction you're with. Try to communicate and open up lines of coordination. And let's get it, guys. Love it. Don't worry about liking and subscribing, but if you can share it with somebody that would find this helpful, then today was a good day. Good morning, Metaverse.